We're finishing now.
Still staying here, right?
Yeah, stay.
Yeah. So there is something called join the discussion room.
Hi, my name is Venkatesh Subramanian. I am from Accenture Labs. Today I will be presenting to you the topic of our paper, which is about building resilient food factories for public feeding programs using innovative technologies. A few facts about these public feeding programs. These programs are a major source of nutrition to a large part of the population across the world. They are especially important in countries like India, where access to free meals also means a form of financial aid for the school children. The pandemic, as we know, has had a big impact on jobs, food security, and nutrition. As a result of the pandemic, a lot of schools are closed. With the closure of the schools, the children have also lost access to the food program, which has negatively impacted their nutrition needs. In fact, I think during the peak season of school closures in April 2020, more than 369 million children missed out on the meals. So, in countries where undernutrition is already on the rise, this actually makes things even worse. So, the need of the hour was to figure out a way to keep the factories running in a resilient manner in spite of the pandemic by taking the necessary safety precautions, and how do we bring in technology to the rescue here. With that context, I think some of the key things the big kitchens wanted to monitor in the feeding programs or for the safety of the workers in the program as well as the safety of the food. These can be monitored by things like one, safe attire and sanitization within the cooking facilities, social distance between the workers in the facilities, and contact tracing indoors in terms of how the people interactions are happening within the facility. If these things are monitored automatically, safety increases across the facility and the factories can be resilient in continuing to operate. So the requirements we started off with were as follows. One, the solution had to be integrated to take care of the people, the spaces, and the process, all three things in a holistic manner. The solution has to allow for indoor tracking and tracing of workers and yet preserve their privacy, so not identify them in a personal manner. Lastly, the supervisors of these large kitchens and facilities also needed a command center dashboard view so that they could monitor these large spaces. Along with the core requirements, there were also some technical constraints for building the solution. The first constraint was budget. A lot of these public feeding programs had constrained budgets. So we had to work with legacy infrastructure in terms of things like existing cameras that had already been in place for many years, let's say. Um, there are also a lot of operational diversity. There are small factories, large format factories, so it was not uniform across. Even within the factory, the spaces had diversity in terms of the layouts, lighting, uh, the objects in the room, etc. And as we mentioned before, the individual privacy has to be preserved. Yet, one needed to identify violations by the individual. So these were some of the constraints with which we built the solution. At a high level, the solution looks as follows. On the left, we can see two key things. I mean, there is the camera in these facilities that actually feeds images and video streams into an AI engine. The AI does computer vision analysis on the video feeds to identify objects, activities, attires, etc. At the same time, the workers in these facilities also wear Bluetooth enabled badges. So these badges emit the position of the workers throughout the day as they walk around the facility. And this is used to compute the distance as well as any risks in areas caused due to crowding of people, etc. All of these events of identifying violations in compliance as well as social distance are fed into a Microsoft Azure's digital cloud, and the information is visualized for actionable insights as well on the cloud. In terms of architecture, the detailed architecture is as shown on the screen. On the edge, we had cameras, and as we mentioned before, these cameras were legacy cameras. There was not enough budget to buy new fancy IoT equipment. We had to work with existing infrastructure of the spaces, existing legacy cameras, the network video recorders, etc. There were some inexpensive Bluetooth enabled badges that was given to the workers in the factory. Now, from this edge devices, information gets emitted. For example, the cameras would emit video feeds into the anomaly detection, which is the computer vision, to detect violations, violations in terms of attires, activities, sterilization, etc. The Bluetooth gateway would also emit the location of the different workers throughout the day. All of this information would generate events whenever a violation would happen, and then this information is fed by means of an API gateway, and that's a data ingestion layer into Azure's digital platform. The information is the API gateway also serves here to onboard new vendors to, let's say, do some new kinds of analysis in the future, right? So it builds flexibility for the future to plug in new vendors. The information is analyzed for uh, outliers, and all of that information is fed into a digital twin, which is a digital representation of the complex physical space. Ultimately, all of this information is visible via operations dashboard web application built on Microsoft's Power Apps. We can also generate time series insights in terms of how these violations are varied over time across the different spaces. A little bit on the digital twin. What exactly is a digital twin? It's actually a hierarchical structuring of the places as well as the different sections within the place and different attributes and people associated with those different spaces. So, for example, if you take a look at a big food factory, it might have a food production area and a transport area. The food production area itself might have outdoor and indoor areas. The outdoor areas might have boilers, heat exchangers. Indoor areas might have multiple floors, and within each floor there could be a packaging area, cooking area, a milk boiling area, etc. And there could also be properties associated with different spaces or rooms, such as who comes in to which area, what kind of actions they do, what kind of compliance is expected of them. All of this information, as well as policies associated with the different spaces and people, can be stored and in the digital twin. And the events can also bubble up to the digital twin, so you can see real time what is happening across a large factory. Here's a command center dashboard of the application that is built. So if we see here, there's a site plan that gives an overall plan of the entire factory, both the indoors and outdoors. And then there is a zoomed in view of just one particular floor here, the ground floor, for example, or first floor over here. Within the floor, some rooms are green and some are red, indicating where there could be potential compliance violations and which are going green in good condition. There are also graphs which shows how the violations are varied across days over several months. So this could give a kind of a statistical view to see if there is some kind of pattern in terms of the violations in these factories, or some certain times of the day, certain days of the week, certain months in a year. So there could be some time series analysis that can happen on the violation. Also, some aggregate statistics in terms of overall SOP compliance and social distance compliance, etc., is generated um, as a part of the application dashboard. This is a view of the Azure digital twin. Now, this digital twin allows the user to drill down from a high level place, like let's say a kitchen area, all the way to a given floor and a given space within that floor, and see whether that particular space is red, amber, or green, thereby indicating whether any intervention needs to be taken at that particular point in time. This is a factory where the pilot field trial was run. As we can see from the picture, it's a large space, about 20,000 plus square feet of campus with multiple floors and multiple rooms within each floor. It has a capacity of about 40,000 meals per day. And there are several workers working in different parts of the factory, and everything needs to be monitored in real time. As a part of the pilot field trial that we did in the factory, we identified different things like mopping compliance. It's an activity in a particular area. For example, attire like face mask and hairnets of the workers, as well as the 20-second hand wash rule, especially in the pandemic era, so that the risks of infection are contained. Learning from the machine learning models that we built for computer vision, initially the accuracy was low, and it was possibly low because of the amount of noise in the background images, as well as the varying lighting conditions, aspect ratios, the size of the objects, etc. Hence, a lot of these models had to be retrained with more than 15 plus hours of video footage per space. After retraining, the model efficiency improved significantly, and we were able to accurately detect the various aspects of compliance like attire and activity. Overall, based on running the pilot, we identified violation with an accuracy greater than 98%, and it took less than 5 minutes for identifying SOP violations. Everything from hand washing to attire violation or activity completion, all of these were used to compute the accuracy after the model trainings. Thank you.
Okay, backstage is live. So now everyone can see us. See you
Okay.
later, guys.
Okay. Thank you very much, Oscar. And thank you very much, Satya, for the presentation. So it's time for the queries.
Yeah.
Please go ahead and make questions to our speaker.
Yeah.
And while people is thinking, I have seen that you are using digital twin for the implementation of your proposal.
Yeah.
And you have selected Azure as the platform. Have you evaluated other alternatives, like, for instance, the one provided by Oracle or any other one?
We were using a Microsoft Azure's digital twin.
But you didn't try any other option in addition to this one? Did you evaluate it in some way, any other alternative?
Yeah, actually, the when the pandemic strike, and then we were quick to deliver. So that was the one constraint, because as I said in the video, so children, the schools were closed, and the children who were in India, no, they most of them receive their nutrition from the schools through midday meal program. and that is stopped. So that is alarming bells for the nutrition of the kids. So we had to quickly do something which is like possible to be because these NGOs doesn't have too much of money in hand, so they cannot afford to do digital investment. So we were asked to do a quick solution. So whatever, because we worked with this with along with Microsoft. So we started with Microsoft's Azure's digital twin and worked on that, and Oracle and all that. We didn't get time to look at the other options actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you carry out any kind of experimentation regarding performance, for instance?
So no, performance was absolutely great, because in 5 minutes, within 5 minutes time, we are able to reflect everything I mean, so I am not sure, like in the video if you have seen. So the way it happens is like that the video feeds are fed to the cloud, and then anomaly detection happens there, and then the anomalies are fed as alerts to the digital twin, and each of this room will be having the number of anomalies, and depending upon the number of anomalies and based on the thresholds that should be present, we mark it as green, amber, and red. It's done like that actually.
Okay.
So
And Ida is making an interesting question whether if the system has been installed in a number of food factories, and also she would like to know whether if you have think of using your approach in other domains like the one of healthcare.
yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. So actually, now so we did a pilot in one of the kitchens in Akshay Patra. So now the plan is to extend it to 52 kitchens, but they are because we did a pilot here, and then the Akshay Patra is now seeking the grants from Microsoft philanthropies and then Melinda Gates, to see if they get the grants, it will be expanded to 52 kitchens in India and one kitchen in UK. So that is the plan. And at the same time, the same thing, because the very nature of keeping the employees safety is same in all, irrespective of kitchens and other workplaces. The solution, I don't see any problem like to moving it to the other domains or other offices. So does that answer your question, or?
Yes, I
Okay.
think so. Also, Lina did another interesting question about the resources consumption. Have you checked the amount of virtual machines, servers, memory, etc., that should be used in order to exploit the digital twin approach?
Yeah, there were two things actually. There were two things. So for a digital twin, Azure, Microsoft Azure was there, and then for the video analytics and all that, so it is done currently on AWS cloud. So and there was absolutely no problem with respect to CPU or GPU usage, and it was fantastically working fine. Yeah.
Because if you use the cloud, sometimes the money goes very fast from your pocket to other pockets.
Absolutely, that is correct. So yeah, that's a brilliant question actually. So what we did is like the cloud will not be operational the whole day. So we know the times when the cooking is in operation. So it will be like those particular timings. For example, so there are 15 areas as such. So we know that okay, first it is in pre cutting stages and all that. So that room will be activated and the video feeds will go there and analysis. Whereas once that section happens, then it will go to the next room where cooking happens. So then the video feeds will happen from there. So this whole thing now for like cloud and all that. So it will be only operational during the cooking times. So thereby, and that too in very specific timings actually. And regarding the hand wash and all that, so that also happens during this particular times. So that's how we are doing it now. And apart from that, Microsoft has provided us with some free credits for this particular pilot. So that is how it is getting handled as of now. Yeah.
Okay, because otherwise, you know that the credit can be quite complex to.
Yes, yes, yes. It will, we made sure that that cloud is active only when the kitchen operations are happening. So it won't be whole day. It will be mostly like 3 hours. But even in those 3 hours, not all rooms will be sending the feeds and all that. So wherever there is an activity from that room itself, the activity, I mean that anomaly detection and then deep learning algorithms and all that run from only for that particular rooms.
Okay, okay.
So we made optimizations around that actually
Okay,
to
not everything is processed in the cloud, but
yeah.
some. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And yeah, as you rightly said, so there are certain edge components. So where we deployed a few in the site in the on site itself. So the only the alerts will go to the cloud, but the video computation and then analytics and all that happens edge at the edge.
Okay.
So there is a mixed blend of computation at the edge as well as computation at the cloud. So that's how it is handled.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Satya.
Yeah, thank you.
I think that we have just we need 1 minute to end. Just last question. Otherwise, we will start. I will move to the backstage of the next presentation.
Okay.
Okay. So,
So am I supposed to move to any other room or?
yes, you only have to close this area, and then automatically you will be moved to the other presentations. Okay.
So if I want to see the other presentations, I have to move to the SCH room. Otherwise,
Yes, yes. You are not seeing a button that say close this area. So
yeah.
click there,
Yeah.
and then we will start. You will see a button that says streaming. Then just click there, and that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Thank you. So can I leave now? Leave this room?
Yes, 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 please.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much, Satya.
Thank you very much.